We are going to talk about the Lord of the Flies. So, what is the Lord of the Flies?
The Lord of the Flies is a novel in which teenagers end up in an island because of an airplane crash. So at first they are confused because there are no adults in the island, so they are really happy. But then they realize they have to be responsible, so they choose Ralph as their leader, and so he creates order by organizing everyone. And one of his commands was to have always a bonfire ready for any boat which can rescue them.
So, Jack, one of the kids, disobeys Ralph and goes hunting instead of taking care of the fireplace. So, a boat passes by and the fire is not lit up, and that creates a huge fight in which two sides are taken, Ralph's and Jack's, but everyone sees that Jack's side is much more fun, so everyone leaves Ralph alone. And it all ends up in a huge fight in which they almost destroy the entire island. But then a boat passes by, signaling all of the fire, and he eventually rescues them all.
So we're going to explain how sanity and madness are represented in The Lord of the Flies using some examples, mostly with the main characters, but we're going to explain it in two different perspectives that at the end they relate with each other. So the first point of view we're going to talk about is about mental health, about how the teenagers went from sanity to madness. So as I mentioned before, at first everyone was sane because they were organized and they were doing what they were supposed to do to survive. So they have self-control. Obviously, some had more, some were more capable of having self-control than others. Just so that's why they choose Rolf, because they thought he was the most capable of doing it. But little by little, because of human nature, they made mistakes. We just led to desperation. Just like we saw it in Jack, because he thought he was the most capable of leading, because he thought he had more power because of being older, so more intelligent. So at the end he became crazy and selfish. But because there was no system, authority, or society to keep control, everyone little by little just started became math, except by Ralph and Piggy.
Now, the second point of view talks about chaos and order, meaning order seen as sanity and as reason, and on the other hand, chaos meaning madness and people going crazy. The thing is, madness and sanity are mostly defined by good and evil, but in the book, it the line between good and evil, fantasy and reality, happiness and sadness, and what is better for each, and what is real and what is not, fades away. That is mainly the reason why they end up in a huge fight at the end with two sides, Piggy's and Ralph, and Jack and everyone else. So by this, sanity for Ralph was the way as they saw reality and what was real, what was happening. But then Jack and the others, and who eventually went mad, see chaos and madness as the only way to open their eyes and what was the situation they were in. So that is how it is represented in the book. We came to the conclusion that both points of view talk about two different sides, one of them being madness, meaning chaos, and the other one being sanity and order. This is seen in the book several times throughout the storyline.
For example, at first, everyone thought that they had to work together, looking after each other to survive. So that will be order, and sanity, because they they all wanted to stay healthy. But at the end, they just became to madness and chaos because they became selfish, and they thought that only the strong one will survive. So that will be chaos because they start fighting each other to the point that they killed each other, which is madness because at the beginning they didn't even think of harming one another. So at the end they just fought for power.
And that is how we see madness and sanity in The Lord of the Flies. Thank you.